What's up, you beautiful collectors? This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the support of Julian and my other patrons, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Steelbane, a character that is basically brand new and we have no idea anything about him. For the package though, you can see he's part of the Premier line with the nice Transformers text here. You got the Premier logo and then of course the Transformers Last Knight down here. On the side, you can see he's a deluxe figure. On this side, you got another image that's kind of like what we have in the front, and it says he's a Knight of Cybertron, whatever that basically means. On the back of the package, you can see images of his robot mode, and that I don't necessarily think that that's a dragon. I don't know how to say it, but I think it's like a Revan or something like that. But then also available, we have the Deluxe Class Autobot Drift, as well as the new Autobot Squeaks. On the top of the package here, you can see images of Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Drift. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Steelbane open up and out of his packaging. And obviously, as you can see, this is his Wyvern mode. Apparently, that's how you say it. I did kind of look it up. According to YouTube, that's how you do it. So, see, YouTube is good for other things other than watching my videos. But I'm actually fairly impressed with how this figure turns out. One thing that I will mention is that mine, some of the joints aren't nearly as tight as I would like them to be. Like you can see, this one's a little bit loose. The arms here are a little bit loose. It's not too terribly bad, and the vast majority of them are ball joints, so I'll be able to tighten those. So it really isn't that bad. But I'm actually kind of impressed by this figure. I mean, when you just kind of look at it, I mean, you see like a lot of weird kind of parts. Like here, it doesn't have a very kind of organic look to it, and I guess that's a problem with a beast sort of former in general. It's not going to hide a lot of stuff very well, but for the most part, I'm actually pretty impressed with how this guy turned out. Now, as I said, we don't know anything about this character really, but I think that there's a lot of interest in this character. Now, while we don't know really anything about him, we have, from what I really recall, we have seen him in the trailers already. Not so much in his Wyvern mode, but more in his robot form. There's a couple scenes where, you know, we see some knights and such, and this one definitely looks like it's in those. And honestly, I really do like the way that he looks. The paint on it is actually pretty decent. You can see you just got like this gray and then some dark kind of tan, and then you got some throughout the entire thing. And one thing that's neat, I don't know how well that's actually going to come across if I zoom in. You can kind of see that there's like a two-tone to it, where you got like the tan and then there's kind of like a grayish silver kind of put throughout it. You got that there, you got that a little bit here in what are going to be his shoulder bits. You also have it here for the neck area. These will become his legs in his actual robot mode, and you got that kind of like here, a little bit too close on the back here. Yes, you can see that his hands kind of hang out, but all in all, I'm not all that put off by it. I think that the head sculpt here looks great. You got a nice bluish, metallic sort of blue paint right there. Nice red color for the eyes. You can see he can open his mouth, and he does have a tongue in there, although when you go all the way down like that, it's kind of weird because I don't think his tongue would just be there and that doesn't move. So something like that I think looks pretty good. Yes, he does have his feet right there and then there in the back, but all in all, I am happy with him. I think he's pretty darn cool looking. Now, for his articulation, because these are going to be his legs, starting off with his tail, these are on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion there. You got a hinge right here, forward and back, and then also a swivel. Nothing really at the lower section, although because it's attached to the foot right there, you can kind of move that just as part of the transformation. These back legs, I guess, you know, because these are going to be the arms, are on ball joints. They also swivel at the upper part of like the thigh. He bends here at a bit of a soft ratchet joint. These little bits here for the feet actually do flex. These upper arms are on ball joints as well, that detached. These are on ball joints, so you can kind of move these around. The wings do kind of get in the way, but you can move those forward, and then you can see that he does have an elbow joint right there. You can then also rotate these around, flare these out, spread this out like so, and you can get a flying pose. But again, the joint is a little, well, not a little bit, a lot bit kind of weak. So get that positioned properly. So you can get his wings flared out, which is kind of cool, but you can see that the weight of them does make the arms droop down. So I'm going to have to tighten that with some floor polish. But you do have that for both of those, and then you can see that these do swivel, so you can pivot these around, kind of get these up and just kind of hanging out right there, however you see fit to position them. It's your toy, do what you want. You also do have a ball joint here at the base of the neck, and then again, because these are the legs, you do have the hinge right there. They also do swivel. Then you come up here, you can bend it down at this joint right here. Again, that's part of the transformation for the foot, so you can do that, but then the head itself is on a ball joint, so you can get it looking left and right, up and down a little. The mouth does open. Again, if you rotate that down, you can really get him looking way far down. So it's a lot of posability in the figure, but because of some of the looseness on it, it does get a little bit precarious, kind of moving things around. So you do have to be careful with it. As you can see here in the back, you do have storage for his weapon. It just pegs in there. It's just a sword. It's molded in this brownish gray kind of plastic. But I do like some of the molded in detail to it. Coming in to take a closer look and getting it to focus on it, you can see some really nice sculpted detail. You got the little peg that attaches to the back. You got the hand guard, and then you got the handle as well. I haven't found a place really to store this in his robot mode, and that's a little unfortunate because it would be cool if you could store it on his back. But for his Wyvern mode, that's it. Really cool looking. For another comparison, or I should say just for a comparison because I haven't done one yet, setting him off to the side. Here he is with the Deluxe Class Drift, and you can see that for a Deluxe figure, he's actually a pretty good size. It really does utilize almost every part of him to flip and convert to being his beast mode. So, I mean, he does look pretty substantial. And then for another vehicle, here he is with the older 2007 classic Bumblebee, so you can see basically how it is, because I know not everybody has Drift yet, but pretty much everybody knows how this guy scales. So there you have that. And then for another Deluxe Class figure, but this time one of the beasts, here he is next to the new Last Night Slash, which obviously is the same mold as the Age of Extinction. So you can see good scale here. Although this guy is massively bigger than he should be, I really think this guy fits very nicely. Now for his transformation, he actually is a little bit fiddly. I don't think it's terrible considering the size of him, but you are going to have some fiddle kind of with this guy. First, the best thing that I like doing is just getting these away from the body. It really does take up a lot of space, and when you have them out there, it just makes it a little bit easier. Come around here to these little, what are going to become his legs. Rotate his head around just like so, and then collapse his little ears, and then bring this all the way back just like that. You can then fold the little feet out just like so. Come around to the other side as well. Then you just fold the tail back all the way and then hinge the actual foot up like that. Then come around here, you want to just kind of move these out to the side, and then this whole section here separates out. Make sure that you pull that kind of all the way out like so, and then spin these around like that, and then bring this piece down. And then this, again, kind of get this out of the way, bring this all the way, and then rotate this, and bring this, yeah, let's see, what did I, oh, that shifted, so bring that, no, actually, wait, did I mess that up? I might have messed that up, no, alright, so, yeah, well, fold that, alright, don't bring that down there, wait to do that. So you had it like that. I'm gonna just kind of come back a couple steps. So you had this, you had that like that, kind of bring that up, and then you rotate this around, like I said, a little bit fiddly, right? So then you bring this all the way down, and this will squeeze together. You can then rotate these legs around like that. You have this here, this section, yeah, make sure you rotate this all the way up, and this kind of locks into place on the inside here. Basically just kind of sits there for right now. Then bring this around, take this entire section. This will shift down like that. And this gets a little bit tricky to do. Bring this around because you have these little grooves. If you can see, these little grooves here, I'm going to come in the shoulder area. You have to bring this in, and these line up and then tab into place. Get that, and it's kind of hard to see because of that giant shoulder thing, but make sure that you push that in and lock that into place. Do that on this side as well. Bring this all the way up and give that a nice squeeze, and you'll feel it kind of lock into place. That stabilizes it. Then with these arms, you literally, coming back a little bit, you literally just hinge these kind of down. You can bring these down, bring that up and around. Oh wait, no, sorry, like that. And then you bend that like that. Fold this down, and you just kind of put these along the back like so. Come around here to the front section, rotate this. Let's see, you got the little fist, rotate that around, and that collapses up along his forearm. Do that on this side as well. Rotate the wrist around, then collapse that up. And then sometimes this will detach, so you just come around here, make sure you give that a nice little squeeze again, come back around, and then basically you just kind of clean it up a little. Now, I will mention that part of the problem is my table. It's rounded and it's not a very stable place to stand a figure, so it is a little bit tricky to actually kind of balance him doing that. So I'm going to do my best to kind of balance them for you guys. Let's see, let's angle these a little, angle these, that's separated again, make sure you squeeze that. And then these little pieces here, you kind of push out like that, where this is going to be straight up and down. But when you're done, and again, you just kind of lean, there we go, lean them forward a little bit. There you have Steelbane transformed in his robot mode. I really do like the way that this guy turned out. Now, for the feet, the best kind of thing to do is not necessarily have them all the way forward like that. Actually bring them back a little bit to give them a bit of a heel. That really helps with the stability, and it is on a ball joint down here, so you can pivot that to get him a wider stance, but that really does help out a lot. The overall look, though, of this guy really is terrific. I do kind of wish he was a Voyager, just because of how cool I think he looks. He has, you know, an old Cybertronian kind of like Prime-ish sort of look to him that I think looks great. And I think could only be better if they made him into a Voyager. This is definitely, I think, the best looking of his modes. And this is where we have seen a robot in the trailers that has looked similar to this. So I think we've seen him in the trailers. Now, in a lot of the Transformer movies and in terms of Transformer toys, a lot of them have robot modes and then alt modes that never really actually appeared, at least in terms of the toys. So I don't know if he actually transforms into a wyvern or anything like that. So we'll find out when we see the movie. We have seen like flying dragons and stuff in it already, so it is definitely a possibility. But I really like the way that he looks. He does have some stability issues, but you can mitigate it. But you can see just how much extra stuff kind of hangs off his back. So that's where I really think that if you have the feet shifted, kind of like this, where he has more of a heel, it really helps to kind of balance him out some. Great head sculpt on here as well. Coming in to take a closer look at that. Really very neat. I'm coming in very, very tight on that. And let me kind of spin it around. Good detail on the chest. I mean, look at that. Amazing amount of intricate detail. And I love the paint detail. Now, taking a look at the head, though, I mean, that is a really cool Knight sort of head. We saw a lot of those with a lot of the Dinobots from Age of Extinction, and this guy definitely has it. And then you can see the two-tone color that he has. I mean, obviously you got a lot of nice, you know, silver and kind of bluish in there, but I love the detail with the main part of the body. I mean, you can see the tannish color in there, and then you can see like the little silver and gray kind of thrown in there as well. You can even see it here with the shoulder sections. You come down here again, you can see that in the arms. I mean, it basically looks like giant, forearm guards. And then I love the detail and intricacy of the armor here in the front. I mean, especially the coloring. They did a great job on this. All of this ornate detailing looks really very cool and is brought out with the different layers of paint. Like you can see a lighter silver, you can see some gray kind of in there. You got the blue bits, then you got the silver that comes down here. You got that kind of put in this section. Just overall really nice. And then when you look at the front of his shins, you got that two-toned color going on there, which really does look terrific. I'm absolutely impressed with how this guy turned out. Honestly, for me, I think that this guy is becoming my favorite so far for this line. Now, for some size comparisons, obviously, here he is. And again, utilizing another Last Night figure, here he is next to the Deluxe Class Barricade. And you can see, size-wise, works pretty good. You can see that in terms of his alternate mode, he is much larger, but then when he comes together as a robot, he does compress nicely. For another more common figure, here he is next to the Age of Extinction / Last Night Bumblebee. And again, size-wise is pretty good. He's actually a little bit smaller than Bumblebee, which again, kind of, I do wish he was a Voyager. That's the only thing that I can really think that I would do differently on the figure. But I just think a character like this, I feel as if he's gonna have some kind of an important role on it, or in the movie. And here next to Voyager, Optimus Prime, I just, again, kind of wish that he was in the Voyager scale. For his articulation, as you could see before, the head is on a ball joint. You can get it looking left, right, up and down a little. That's about as high as it goes up, and then it does look down fairly decently. There is a lot of stuff here in terms of his back that does kind of get in the way, but the shoulders are on ball joints that you can move around, but because of the giant shoulder sections, they only really go out to about there, so you're not getting a full range of motion, but it is still pretty decent. He rotates, or he pops off completely. Okay. Pretend that didn't happen, people. Okay, put that right back on there. Shh. Okay, we're gonna edit that out. That's maybe. Or I'm just gonna leave it in because it's funny. What the suck? Okay, yeah, I said suck. That's okay. There we go. What? This is just becoming a little bit longer now because I'm having issues. There we go. So put that in there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. All right, so let's pretend that didn't happen. So then you got a ball joint here for the shoulder, the upper part of the... Wow, yeah, that's not good. When you rotate it, it does pop out, at least on mine. So you do have that little mushroom peg right there, and for some reason it like doesn't do it now when it's not attached, but it did when it was attached to it. So you don't, well, now it's not. You do have a rotation there. You do have a softer elbow joint ratcheting forward and back. If you move this a little bit further away from the actual forearm, you can rotate this, but when you have it kind of pushed all the way up, it is a little bit limited because that section here kind of sits along the curved section of his forearm. So you can still rotate the actual wrist. You just pull that away a little bit. So I do appreciate that. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. I mean, a lot of it is just kind of the whole transformation right there. This part right here is all part of it, so you can't really move that. But because it's more down the center, it really doesn't limit too much of the articulation, although, as you can see, when you rotate it, the leg does tend to go outward. And then it hinges in and out. It does have a ball joint, rotates at the upper part of the knee, bends at the knee, and then the ankles are actually on ball joint, so you get a nice ankle tilt. They move forward and back. You do have that hinge there, but again, you do kind of want to leave it where it's positioned kind of like that. So a pretty good level of articulation. He is missing some bits, such as the waist, but I think in general, a really nicely articulated figure. And as I said, of the new Last Night figures, this is definitely my favorite. And like I was talking about, unfortunately, I don't really see a place where I can tab this in. I thought maybe you can like tab it in there because you got that little slot right there. but it doesn't, the little tab on it doesn't really slot in there. So there's no real place that I can see where you can do it. And I thought maybe turning it around, but it's not wide enough to kind of slot. I mean, it is right down here where it's thinner. You could do that, but then it sticks out way too high. So I don't necessarily think there's a real way for you to store this in his robot mode, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish there was. But now to transform him back, again, it's kind of like a fiddle to and a fiddle from in terms of the transformation. First, we're going to detach these bits by pulling these forward, and that'll separate it from the back section. Again, just pull these all the way out, get them kind of out of the way, then take the whole torso bit and you slide this up and cover his face area. So again, bring that all the way up, get that head there, and then you can, again, fiddle with all of this. So do that. You can spread this, bring this all the way around just like that. Take this bit right here, you rotate this around, and this you spin around just like so, so that now this section here is on the back of his head. And then you take this whole bit and you, again, you're literally just fiddling with a lot of it. This section here you're going to tuck up under like so, and then just bring all this around. And then you can take these and actually pulling this away, you can see that the little groove section on the inside here comes in, and then it locks in on the little greenish sort of gray bit right there. So you bring that in, and that locks in along the side. Give that a nice little push, locking that into place, and then go ahead and bring that back and around like so. Then you just kind of fiddle with this to get it in the proper position. So this is going to be, yeah, the back of it. So you rotate this around, fold this up along the back, spin out his tail just like so, and then bring these feet around, bring that down like so, and then you angle this kind of, rotate that around so it's like that. Did that slide out again? No, it didn't. Okay. And then you just kind of angle this. So again, bring that around, rotate that, spin that around, and you're just positioning his legs like so. Then these, again, you just kind of rotate that, take these, kind of tuck these up, kind of position these however really you want. Rotate the head around. No, it's going to go like that. Then this back section comes up there. Rotate, pull that off. Oops. Rotate the head around. Bring that all the way up. You had the ears. I think the ears actually told you to put them, or the instructions tell you to put the ears like that. It doesn't really matter. Fold that up. Position that. And then just bring these. Oh, sorry. This is actually supposed to be rotated around like that. So then spin that around, and fiddle with these wings a little bit. Straighten out the arms, and basically you have him in his wyvern mode. Again, it's just a matter now of kind of fiddling with it and getting him in the proper sort of position to get him looking kind of cool. So fiddle there, rotate that. That helps a little bit with the wings, and get that leg back, bring the head up, position these little winglet thingies. You put that down. I don't know how you want to do that. We're just gonna wiggle with it, and basically when you're done, I mean, again, it's just a matter of futzing with it to get him looking as good as possible. But when you're done, there you have him back in his beast mode. To me, I really would say that my biggest gripe about this figure would be the quality control aspect. That being the tightness of all the different ball joints. Now, I can fix that myself, but there is the argument that when you pay money for something, you shouldn't have to fix it. I get that. It doesn't bother me all that much to do. But because of the looseness of some of the joints, it really does make the transformation, as I said, a bit fiddly. things are kind of flopping all over the place. That's part the nature of the transformation, but also a large part of the actual tightness of the joints. Either way, I don't think the transformation is bad. It works, but it definitely isn't as fun as, say, Squeak's. But honestly though, the alternate mode here I still think looks really good. But that robot mode is absolutely amazing. If I were to change something, I would make this guy a Voyager scale. But even at a deluxe size, he's still really very fun. This is definitely a character that I'm really curious about in terms of the new film. So if Steelbane here is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he will be hitting various retail locations fairly soon. So good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformers The Last Knight figures. But beyond that guys, that's about it. So once again I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out and I'd really appreciate it. Also if you're new here, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, do me a real quick favor and click on that bell right below this video, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, till all are one.